using the subcontractor model, you could make over $1 million a year of net profit.
Yes, you can. The fastest way to start making some good, healthy profits is to subcontract it.
Installation machine and all that, you don't even need to own that.
No, they have their own equipment. It's a 30-minute install, but you can sell those for $1,200. If we focus just on every home selling air scrubber, we could sell $1 million a year.
So okay, now we're talking.
There's a lot of money in duct work. Dip your toe in the water with duct fitting, and it could branch into something where now you're looking at $10,000 tickets. Our average ticket is right around 10 grand.
You're kind of selling fear a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's energy savings, comfort, and indoor air quality all together.
Is installation your big kind of money maker?
So insulation removal and then obviously re-insulating. I mean, both those services we're at over $1 million on the year. And then duct sealing is our third biggest. So, but naturally we're going to get up in the attic. We're going to see how old their AC unit is. And then that's when we'll come down and sometimes offer a new AC unit.
Are you using like tools to see if like cool air is leaking out in the attic and like infrared stuff?
Yep. So all of our cells have the infrared cameras, and
I love stuff like that because it provides such a perfect visual. And you're like, don't listen to me. Just look at the data, show them the picture of like the glowing red and yellow. And they're like, oh my, they just see like their money like burning up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we do every single one of our sales guys has an infrared. Even our, project managers and stuff have that. We'll have them turn on the AC unit right when we get there, or the heater, depending on the time of year. And then we'll go get some images of the ductwork. We'll even pull aside some insulation, and we'll see through like their cam lights and some of the areas that they're leaking in their attic. We'll show them the thermal imaging of that as well.
Okay.
So they can actually see like the cold air coming up through their house, right? Or the heat coming up through their house into their attic. So help people understand how their house is leaky and how we can fill it up nice and tight and save them.
Okay.
So
what does like an average prescription look like? You go in there, you go to an average attic, not too crazy either direction. What do you prescribe them? What does it cost them? What does your margin look like on something like that?
When we go to a home, the most common thing that we do, and we push it, right, is removing all their insulation so that we can seal the attic, right? So we'll come and seal up all the leaking areas of the attic. Once we have all the insulation removed, we're going to add R49, which is about 17 inches of insulation.
Okay. And what do people usually have? How much of an upgrade is that typically?
So here in Phoenix, the average home probably has 6 inches of insulation. Pretty much every house here has old cellulose insulation, which is like made of cardboard and newspaper. And that stuff breaks down. So when they process that insulation, they have to add fire retardant to it. And especially here in Phoenix, that fire retardant like activates with the heat. It starts basically disintegrating the insulation when settling. And so you'll get up in attics, it's super dusty, it's gross, it's compacted. So we'll remove all of that. We'll seal up their attic. We'll add a lot more insulation than what they had. And then a lot of homes, almost every ticket that we sell has some sort of duct sealing. Most of what we do is AeroSeal. You've heard of AeroSeal, right?
I haven't, no.
So AeroSeal it's cool. It's a technology that you block off all the registers in the house, and then you hook up this machine to the ductwork, and this machine turns this sealant into like an aerosol. And so you're pressurizing the system. All the ducts, all the vents are blocked off. You're pressurizing the system. And so when you're sending that sealant through the ductwork, it's not coating the ductwork at all, but it's those little air sealant particles are traveling through the air and they're going out the holes, and they start accumulating at the holes and sealing up the duct system.
Interesting.
So it's the best way to seal ductwork. It's a lot more expensive than sealing it by hand. It's going to get all the cracks and holes and even the little holes that you can't see.
It kind of reminds me of like the Fix-A-Flat, right? You spray it in your tire and it just whoosh.
Yep. 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of a lot of people relate to the Fix-A-Flat concept, or they have a certain product like that to seal up a radiator. So a lot of people relate with it that way. They go, oh, okay.
So that's like the more expensive version of like manually like taping, but it's more effective as well.
Correct. Yeah, and we really build a lot of value in AeroSeal. In fact, AeroSeal consults with us a lot because we're kind of one of the only companies that's been able to figure out, because a lot of people that sell AeroSeal, it's kind of an add-on service to what they're already doing. Like, and I guess we kind of do that too, but we'll go sell AeroSeal on its own.
It's like a main course for you guys. Most people treat it like a side dish or an appetizer.
Correct. So
Okay.
AeroSeal likes to pick our brain a lot on how we're actually selling AeroSeal alone, because a lot of the companies that sell it don't know how to do that right now.
So you go into an average house, and what do you usually quote them for just an average job?
Our average ticket is right around 10 grand.
Okay. What size house might that be? 3,000 square feet?
The average home is probably about 2,000 square feet. Usually that includes removing insulation, sealing up the attic, adding R49 insulation, and then sealing the ductwork. And a lot of times that'll include a duct cleaning as well, because we package that with AeroSeal. So 10 grand's our cash value, because we use a lot of financing, and financing has fees and that added to it. And so we strip that out, and we want the true cash value of that job. With the fees, we're probably closer to 11 grand.
Okay. I got to think that taking all that insulation out is just a pain. Use like a massive vacuum.
Yeah. Just a big,
like this big around. And
it's you're looking at a 6-inch hose, at least 6-8 inch hose. And, the one we're using right now is a diesel vacuum. It's got tons of horsepower. I can't remember how much horsepower it has, but yeah, you just go start sucking it out.
Yeah. Do you have to like dispose of it in a certain way, or can you just toss it?
We just take it to the landfill. So,
okay.
And there are some landfills that, don't like to take it, but we know all the ones that will take it. And so we'll just, when we end the job, we'll head over and dump it.
And are you replacing it with blown in insulation? Just like the Snow White stuff?
Yep. That's what we do. So that's blown fiberglass. We can do foam, spray foam. I have my own issues with spray foam. It's a great insulation, but there's some downfalls to it too. And so most of what we sell is blown fiberglass.
Believe it or not, 67% of the people that watch my YouTube videos don't subscribe to me, and over 90% think that they're subscribed to me. So do me a quick favor and check that you're subscribed to me. If you're not, please do. It would mean a lot. So on a $10,000 job, how do the unit economics break down on your side? Like, what are you allocating to overhead versus ad spend versus COGS, labor, and all that?
So 10% ad spend is kind of what we factor. Of our revenue, we want to keep ad spend to about 10% or less. Commissions, same thing. We pay about 10%. And then overhead, we want to keep around 10% as well. So we have 50%. It's actually like 52% margins on all of our products. We want to keep 15 to 20% when that's all said and done.
So 52% gross margin, 15 plus ish net.
Yeah. Our target's 20, but we're satisfied with 15.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you got to pay AeroSeal. You got to pay for the insulation. You got to pay labor. Your insurance probably isn't as substantial.
It's not cheap. Insurance is not cheap ever.
Yeah.
So, in sales commissions with overrides and everything, we're about 12% there. That's where the 52% margin comes in when we pay out all commissions. And then, on a really bad month with our ads, we'll get 8 or 9x, but on a good month, we'll get 15.
Yeah.
We'll get 15.
Which should put your net closer to 20.
Yeah. Last month we were at 15x on our
nice.
OS. So
what is like a big job, like a really good profitable job look like for you?
We've done jobs as high as 30 grand.
Is it usually bigger homes or homes with more issues, more leaking?
A little bit of both, right? So single level homes like your house, that's going to probably be a pretty big ticket because it's going to have a big attic, right? So there's more square footage to, 2-story homes, they don't have as big of attics. So there's not as much square footage to remove or to replace. Where we make it up with 2-story homes though, is most of the time they have multiple AC units. So we'll get two duct seals out of it rather than one. So we'll make up a little bit of that on the 2-story. Some of our sales reps, they sell air scrubbers, they sell duct cleaning, they sell HVAC unit, you know, and we'll get big tickets. I mean, we've had jobs where they've needed everything, and we've had jobs over 30 grand, 40 grand.
Yeah.
You know, those are always fun jobs to do.
What are air scrubbers?
It's a simple install. There's a lot of money that you can make in air scrubbers. So it's a device that goes, and you can install it on the supply side or the return side. So all your AC units have a supply side and they have a return side. But it's just a little device that has like a cell that goes into it. And so as air's passing through it, it's basically ionizing or atomizing the air, and it's charging and as it comes out the ducts, goes and attaches to all the dust and pollen and allergens. So
it's like an electronic air filter, like a high-powered air filter?
Yeah, and I mean, it'll kill viruses, it'll kill mold, it'll kill... So, but you just put it into the plenum, seal it up really good, and plug it in, and it's a 30-minute install, but you can sell those for $1,200.
And what's your cost on that?
$400 for the product, and then $50 in labor.
Yeah, so, dang. You just plug it into the wall as long as there's an outlet up there?
You can plug it into the wall. That's an option. Or you can they make these adapters that will plug into the actual air.
Wow. And on that one, that's kind of like a pest control sale. You're kind of selling fear a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially with there's a lot of people out there that have asthma or they're just bad allergies. And so a lot of that's coming from their attic and their ductwork. So by putting one of those in there, it's going to help a lot throughout their home. Yeah. So I have 2 installed in my house.
How much business do you do of that per year, the air sealing?
Air scrubber, we have...
Air scrubber, yeah.
We're at year-to-date 56,000.
Dang, okay. Is there a business to be had of someone just doing that? Like that alone, driven by Facebook ads, door-to-door, what have you?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, no. It's a big issue. A lot of people, especially, I mean, if there was a good thing that came from COVID, it's people's awareness of allergens and viruses and things like that. There's a big health push in our culture. You know, a lot of it's fitness and food and toxins and stuff like that. And so that helps drive the need and the want and the desire for those. Yeah. Air scrubbers for us is kind of an afterthought. It's kind of a side dish, a little bit of an appetizer. If we focus just on every home selling air scrubber, we could sell $1 million a year. So.
Okay, now we're talking. I don't think people are going to start caring about toxins less, right?
Correct.
I see that as only growing. Have you heard of those companies that come in and they'll like diagnose your home as far as like toxins are concerned? Like they'll look at the air quality and then they'll give you like, they may charge you like a few $100 and then they'll give you like a laundry list of things to fix. Do you work with companies like those? Do they refer business to you, or is that still pretty early?
That's still pretty early. We haven't worked with any companies like that. And I don't know of any companies here in Phoenix that do that. I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
But
I know a guy in the UK doing it really successfully.
Yeah. It's a big business. Just the air purification industry is several $1 billion a year. It's like $10 billion a year just in the US. So
wow.
There's a lot of money to be made just focusing on air quality.
Can homeowners install those themselves? Like if they were handy enough, or is it pretty technical?
No, yeah, they definitely can install them themselves. So it's a simple install. If you have any sort of low voltage electrical knowledge and you know how to cut a hole and patch it up and seal it up nice, then you can install it yourself. So
okay.
And the nice thing about that business, just in the air scrubbers, is there is a reoccurring revenue, you know, side of it, because those cells that are in that air scrubber, they'll last 2 years, 2-3 years. So you can go and sell them a new cell.
Yeah.
Every 2 to 3 years.
You can sell them whatever you want every 2 to 3 years.
Exactly.
Right. So, you get your foot back in the door every 2 years.
Yeah. There is a good business. And I've thought about just starting a business that just focuses on ductwork, and air scrubber is going to be like it was going to be one of the main courses of that business.
Yeah. All right. So for a 2,000 square foot home, 10 grand, what kind of monthly savings could the homeowner expect? Like what would their power bill go to roughly?
So according to the Department of Energy, if we're doing like the whole package, they can expect 25 to 30%. But we've had homes where I mean, the attics are just completely, I mean, no insulation, or half their attic has zero insulation. Their ductwork's disconnected. Those homes are going to completely transform their lives, right? Like,
Yeah.
We love those homes because, yeah, it's going to make a massive difference. They're going to feel it like the next 10 minutes after it's done. But 25 to 30% on a typical home. On a lot of the older homes, you can get probably more than that.
Okay. Yeah.
We obviously focus on energy savings. That's one of the benefits of doing this, but we look at it from a holistic, hey, you want to be more comfortable. You want to have even temperatures. This is your home. Invest in it. Live in your home. Be happy in your home. No one wants to have a home that has a room that they don't want to use because it's uncomfortable. So we're really focusing, and then the health aspects of it. So it's energy savings, comfort, and indoor air quality all together. And that's the value that we're selling, right?
Yeah.
So
it took me so long to flip that switch in my brain because I'm inherently cheap. And so I would like keep the AC at like 77 in the summer. And then one day I was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is miserable. Like, you're going to spend an extra $40 a month to be comfortable. Like, I think that's worth it.
Yeah. 100%. So when we first moved here to Phoenix, I tried to live that way the first year. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, if we're going to stay here in Phoenix, I'm going to pay whatever power bill I need to pay.
Yeah.
Just to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't care.
On a 2,000 square foot home, what's an average like summer power bill in Phoenix?
$400 to $500.
Oh, so they could save $200, $150, $200, right?
Yep.
So they'll get that money back in 4 to 6 years, give or take.
Yeah. There's a lot of tax rebates. And so, I mean, the tax credit's going away after this year, but a lot of utilities are doing rebates. So one of the utilities here in Phoenix it's called SRP. They give $400 just for duct sealing. And then they'll give $600 for insulation. And there's other little rebates they give as well. So we take advantage of those as well. So,
yeah. All right. I'm always talking about data, the numbers that actually matter, because you need data to grow, and you need to grow to make real money. Beehive is the newsletter platform that I've used for over a year and a half because of their data. Well, for multiple reasons, but especially because of their data. Yes, most platforms will tell you someone opened your email. Cool. But Beehive tells you everything. Engagement drop off, which links people ignore, and which ones they click again and again, what keeps readers scrolling. You get real-time subscriber insights, A/B testing results, even predictive analytics measures. It's like having your entire subscriber base give you feedback live, and you can set up automated sequences, welcome emails, re-engagement campaigns, all based on that behavior, because the truth is, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And Beehive shows you what's actually happening. So head to beehive.com/Chris for 30% off 3 months. That data will change how and what you write. If we were to look at two variables, like if someone wanted to get into this industry, either vent cleaning or air quality or insulation, the two variables being like quickest path to good net cash flow per month and like barrier to entry. If we were to take both of those into consideration, what opportunities in this space do you see for people?
I think it just depends on how you want to do things, right? Because I remember when I first started this business, I wanted everything in-house. I wanted to do everything in-house. I wanted to have my own crews. I wanted the trucks. I wanted everything, right? And obviously, there's going to be a big investment because insulation machines are not cheap. If you want a good insulation machine, you're looking at 15 to 20 grand. That's just for one machine.
Can you finance them?
You can.
Okay.
That reduces the barrier to entry. And then, insulation removal machines, you're looking about 10 grand for one of those machines for a good machine. And if you want to get into duct cleaning, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand for a machine. So that's how I used to think. I wanted everything in the house, and I invested a lot into building all that. We had over 100 employees or close to 100 employees, and we were doing everything in house. I've since changed my thought process. I've since changed, the way I think. And the fastest way in this business to cash flow and to start making some good, healthy profits is to subcontract it. You know, there's a lot of small companies that need the work, that don't invest in marketing, that are just basically labor, and that's all they want to be. And you find the right subcontractors, they'll do whatever you need them to do.
Where do you find them? Facebook Marketplace?
The best way to find really good subs is through the suppliers.
Really?
How we found good subs is go utilize our connections with the suppliers, because now we have, you know, someone has firsthand, you know, knowledge of how that sub is and the work they do and how much they're buying and just who they are as people. So that's where we've had our best success finding subcontractors. Is
people selling you equipment and
yeah.
Okay.
Selling
that's smart.
The insulation suppliers, AeroSeal, you know, calling them and finding the best AeroSeal companies. That's the best way. But we found several subcontractors just through Google and searching online for insulation companies, or we found one of them because we had a competing quote with one of our customers from them, and we saw what they were charging them. And we're like,
"Jeez,
we need to go talk to these guys.
We'll pay you that. We'll pay you that, and we'll take this job."
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's how we've traditionally found our subs.
It's funny because people think of starting like a home service business, and their mind immediately goes to, all right, I need to learn how to perform this service. I need to learn everything I can about our values and insulation and all this. When really it's like, you need to learn Facebook ads.
Correct.
Right? Like if you can just learn Facebook ads, then you're going to be ahead of most of your competitors, and they're not going to be your competitors. They're going to be your partners. Correct. You're going to pay them to do all the work for you. Right.
Yeah. And I love it. Like one thing that I always had a fear of quality, right? I always had a fear that like if we sub it out, quality is going to go down. And we've had issues with subs, and we don't, you know, we let them go, or we don't send them any more work, and we get it fixed. And, you know, I'm not saying that every subcontractor has been awesome to work with, but we like the small local companies. That's who we like to work with. You know, the owner's usually on the job site. He cares. He wants to continue to receive our business. They're going to do a great job, and they're going to have great quality because they care about their business. They want more work from us. And so that's one of my switches that have changed in my brain, is like quality to actually, you can make an argument that it goes up if you have the right subs. And then we always have a project manager. So we always have a project manager that's on site to deal with the homeowners. And so we're still managing the project. We're still very hands-on. It's still our project and the way we want to do it. But we just find people that already have the help and the labor and want the work. And, you know, that's how we do it.
So are you pretty much subbing everything out today?
Pretty much. I mean, we do some small things in-house, but for the most part, we sub it all out.
So on a $10,000 job, how much of that goes to your sub on average?
Well, so we usually have our subs pay for the product too. That's one of the changes we'll make in the future, is we'll procure the materials. So about 50%.
Okay.
48%.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, that's the tree business. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We mark it up 2x basically.
Exactly. Also, general liability goes down because you can, you know, require them to have general liability. So now you're a different type of general liability that you have to carry. And so there are a lot of savings that come with subbing it out. Also, another thing, if they step through the roof or step through the ceiling, they're responsible to fix it, not us, right? If they have a machine that breaks down, they're responsible to fix that, not us. And so there was one point when we had everything in house where just on rental equipment, we were spending $15,000 a month just because we had machines breaking down or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a savings that we have just by subbing things out.
So you don't even, you talked about the installation machine and all that. You don't even need to own that with the subcontractor model.
No, they have their own equipment. Now, installation subs are a little harder to find than like a landscaping subs or.
Yep.
But
more specialized.
It's more specialized. It's a higher investment up front, but they're out there and they want the work.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people hesitate to hire subs because they're like, oh, they'll take my business, or they'll show up in a different truck with a different logo. I explain, like, the homeowner 90% of the time doesn't notice or care. It's a non-issue, right? Because it's pretty commonplace. And what about like stealing your business? Does it just work for this because it's not really a recurring thing? So you manage the payment.
So we have the project manager on site. And if you have a good sub, one of our main subcontractors, we keep them super busy to where I think 90% of their business is from us. Right? They're not going to do anything to mess that relationship up.
Yeah. And it takes time to find them and to vet them, right? It probably won't be the first sub you find that's that good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we've had our bad ones, but for the most part, we haven't had any issues with that because we still control the project. I think where you have the issues is if you just like sub it out and then don't have oversight, right? We still want to control the communication. We're still there with the homeowner, walking them through the project. We're not just handing it off. And I think that works. There's a lot of big companies that just hand it off, but we don't want to do that. We like to have a little more control over it. So
what is like your project manager to job ratio? Like how many jobs is your project manager overseeing at any given time?
Here in Phoenix, we do about 60 jobs a month, and we have one project manager. One of our subs, the one I was just talking about, we trust him implicitly. So if that project manager is out for that day or can't make it to the job, then we don't worry about it. And so there are those cases where, calls in sick or is on vacation, and, we still are communicating with them, but we might not have a project manager on site that day.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not unreasonable to assume that in one Metroplex, using the subcontractor model with a good Facebook ad strategy, you can make over $1 million a year of net profit, right?
Yes, you can.
You got dialed in systems. You're paying your salespeople a commission. Facebook ads are cranking. What types of services are you selling with your ads today?
Most of our ads are targeted towards insulation and duct sealing. So we'll do like a free attic inspection. So our ads is really just to pitch a free attic inspection. Obviously, we're bringing up some of the pain points in our ads, just kind of some of the things that people might be experiencing. That kind of elicits the response to get an attic inspection. And then we'll go do an inspection, and we'll come down after we inspect the attic and some of the things that are going on up there. We'll come down, sit down with them, present the solution. That's where we'll add on, if they're having allergy issues or dust issues, we'll add on air scrubbers or duct cleaning, or, sealing ductwork is big for allergies and dust. So that's where we once we do the attic inspection. So really our ads are really just focused on providing a free attic inspection. And once we do that, then we kind of know the solution to tailor for that homeowner.
Okay. So that's been like your most successful ad offer is get your foot in the door with a free attic inspection, ask the right questions, feel them out, and see what kind of direction you need to point them towards, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I assume you're using mostly video ads?
Yep. Usually my face in an attic or somewhere talking about insulation, and then they have a good call to action, have a good offer, and you're going to get people submitting their information. Now you have, once that happens, you have to have the appointment setters and the automations in place. And that's not hard to set up, but to keep everything organized and to make sure that things aren't falling through the cracks, that's an important element of doing.
What does your tech stack look like? Are you using High Level or HubSpot?
We use High Level, for our marketing, for our leads to come in. But I've been developing, and I think you and I have talked about this before, I've been developing my own CRM for 5 years now, 6 years.
Yeah.
So
how's that going?
It's good. I even have it connected with High Level, so all the leads that come in through High Level go through it.
Okay. So what about vent cleaning? Do you think that could be a standalone business? And if so, how could people tackle that if they wanted to?
Vent cleaning definitely can be a standalone business.
Quick question. What if there were a private community out there of people that were building businesses based on this podcast? Well, I just made it. And it's only for business starters and business builders. It's called TK Owners. And it's basically like having me and 100 other business geniuses as your business partner. Also, there's going to be exclusive new trends, growth hacks, business ideas, and a database of everything I've ever talked about. You'll find thousands of startup case studies. You'll have weekly Ask Me Anythings with me while I'll answer your questions directly. You can join now at tkowners.com, link in the show notes.
With Facebook ads, you want to have a big enough ticket to make it worth
Yeah.
it? You could be selling a cheap product or an expensive product. Your leads are going to cost roughly the same. We spend about, each lead that we get in is about $75 a lead. We need to sell a ticket. We need to sell something, a service that's going to recoup that investment plus put some money in our pocket. You'll probably have a higher close rate with a cheaper product. So you're probably able to sell more duct cleanings. Your close rate would probably be a little better, but like a typical duct cleaning, standard 2,000 square foot home, 12 vents, you're looking about $800 for that. Once you're in doing the duct cleaning, there's the additional services that you can upsell, like the air scrubber, right? You can do some duct sealing, right? You can even if you don't want to invest in the aeroseal system, you can go and do manual duct sealing, because one of the big reasons why dust is getting into the ducts in the first place is because of leaky ducts, right? And so that could be an upsell is duct cleaning or duct sealing. You can charge $400 to $500 on that, and then just other duct services. But that duct cleaning could be the kind of the lead horse, and then you can upgrade that service from there. And that's kind of how we do it.
I think there's a couple different words for this, but I've heard people call it like self-liquidating ads. In your case, like, you don't really make anything unless you close a lead, right? Like, you're offering a free attic inspection, but you know that your close rate once you're in site is going to be X%. But with this model, it could be, our offer is not a free attic inspection. It could be a duct cleaning for $800. That way, like, when you get your foot in the door, you physically get to their house, you've paid for the ads and then some, you're already profitable. But then you can bring your average ticket from $800 to $1,800 because 1 in 4 people buy an air scrubber, or 1 in 4 people get a $10,000 job, right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
And it averages out.
Yeah. And with duct cleaning, that's something you can sell over the phone. You don't even have to go and look at it. I mean, a duct system is duct system. You ask the right questions, you could sell that over the phone without even really going and seeing, the property. So that's obviously, there's some savings there. And as far as converting someone to a customer, and then, yeah, like you said, the self-liquidating offer, you can come up with this like really good offer on the front end to bank on some of the upsells. And then when you're in the house doing the service, then you can, okay, we noticed that your ducts are super leaky, or you have a disconnected duct, you have allergy issues. Let's sell you an air scrubber. And, there's a lot of things that you can do once you're there doing the service. Once you've kind of sold them that, you've made your money back from the ads, and that you make the profit in all the upsells.
Is there enough margin with vent cleaning only to sub it all out, or would you want to do it yourself? And if so, what kind of equipment would you need?
So vent cleaning, that's if I was just to have a vent cleaning company, I'd have that in-house. One, because you don't need a lot of, depending on the type of duct cleaning you do. So there's a couple different types of equipment you can get. There's what's called a brush and vac, where basically it's just long brush and there's a vacuum attached to it. And as you're scrubbing it, it's
like spins around.
You really only need one guy to do that. The downfall of the brush and vac method is, that's usually designed for residential and light commercial. So if you wanted to do anything bigger, you're kind of limited to just that, part of the market. The other type of duct cleaning machines it's a negative air machine. And that's where you're blocking off the AC unit, you're connecting the vacuum up with the air handler, and then you use these like air whips to break up the dust.
You see those in like the TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Because it's very visual. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very visual. It's breaking up the dust, and it's sucking it into that negative air machine. That is, in my opinion, it's a better duct cleaning method, but you're probably going to have 2 guys to do that work, and it's a little bit longer setup. But the upside is you can get into bigger jobs. You can do industrial duct work, really start to get into those types of jobs. So duct cleaning, I'm not saying you can't sub it out, but the average ticket is probably about $800 to $1,000.
There's not a lot of margin.
That might be something that you want to take in house. But so for a machine, so if you're just doing a brush and vac machine, a good machine that's going to last and that's going to do a good job, you're looking at about a $4,000 to $6,000 investment. Negative air, you're $8,000 to $12,000. There's cheaper machines out there, and it might not be a bad idea to go a little bit cheaper to start, but you're going to probably have to upgrade, later on, where if you just kind of invest right up front into the better machines, those will last a good while and they'll do a good job for you. So
is this as good of an opportunity in colder climates, or is it best in places like Phoenix?
I think anywhere where there's extreme weather. I mean, the insulation's great in colder climates. In fact, usually the levels of insulation you want to install are higher, right? Like in Minnesota, instead of going to R49, you'd want to probably install R60. Probably get a little bit more money on that ticket just being in the colder climates. But yeah, I think extreme weather is where you're going to get the real demand for it. In places like San Diego, there would still be a demand in San Diego, but it's the same temperature all year round for the most part. You're not going to have people suffering. I think the biggest thing is like the difference people feel from winter here versus summer, right? Winter, they're pretty, content. They're like, this life's good. It feels good here. And then all of a sudden the summer comes and then they start realizing, all the areas that, of their home that are not comfortable or they're not getting airflow or whatever.
So with that logic, like Phoenix might not even be the best market, right? Like maybe a Salt Lake or a Dallas that gets really hot, really cold.
We love Dallas because it has both extremes. Here in Phoenix, we still get a lot of winter work because we're really selling the summer. Hey, do this now so the summer's better. But in Dallas, you get a lot of pain in the winter and you get a lot of pain in the summer. Same with Salt Lake, same with, So yeah, anywhere where you kind of have pretty hot summers and pretty cold winters, you're going to, business is going to be good.
Yeah. But in Dallas, we get like 9 days of perfect weather per year. So don't dog on it too much.
Yeah. I mean, Dallas is a great market. The only thing that sucks, and we've had this happen in Dallas, is all the ice storms where we can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna slide off the road.
Is there anything that's interesting about this business that I forgot to ask you about?
I don't think so. I think you asked some good questions. What I'll say is there's a lot of things that you can do in this business, in the I call it the home performance industry. And there's a lot of things that relate to others. I mean, you could, at some point, your business grow to do roofs, because roofs actually, it's something that comes up quite a bit with us. Hey, can you fix my roof while you're doing my attic? So there's a lot of areas you can branch into, just starting off with, whether it's insulation or duct cleaning. Like, I mentioned earlier with duct cleaning, you could eventually run a full-blown duct business. And there's a lot of money in duct work, replacing duct work, adding returns, cleaning duct work.
New builds.
New builds. So you can kind of dip your toe in the water with duct cleaning, and it could branch into something where now you're looking at $10,000 tickets, $15,000, because duct work is, one, it's not cheap. Nobody wants to do it. And there's a lot of intricacies with it. So you can really charge for it and be fair too. So that's kind of how I look at business, is like, how can I get in at the lowest barrier to entry, and how can I grow into these
upsell from there?
Yeah. So
yeah. Beautiful. Where can everyone find you, Wrex, if they want to find you or your business? Or
so our Instagram page our handle is @CozyPros. Same with Facebook.
COZYPROS.
And my name's Wrex Lindsay. They can find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. What'd you think? Please share it with a friend, and we'll see you next time on the Kerner Office.